All righty, welcome back to the PA High School Football Report. As always, a special thanks to our sponsor, the great professionals at OSS Health. PennLive.PatriotNews.PA Media Group gives us this glorious Belly the Beast, the dungeon. We are back just a few hours before Turkey Day. You know what that means, fellas. That means we are this close now to crowning state champions at Chapman Field. That will be coming up in around, 11 days, something like that?
Yeah, something
like that. Anyway, Eric Epler, PennLive, Dan Sosnick, PennLive, and, of course, we have a special guest. We are going to reintroduce Bruce Badgley. Bruce, I don't know what your official title is. Is it videographer?
Videographer, yeah.
Streamer extraordinaire?
That is what's on my template when I send out my email, so...
Did you get the business cards yet? Did we get you business cards yet?
No business cards yet.
Right,
so I'll definitely
pass them
make that note.
What's later on this afternoon? Is it leg day?
No, that was Tuesday's typically my day off. So
okay.
Tuesday, Saturdays, we take a day off from working out and what have you. So
do you keep the same routine every week?
No.
Well,
I mean, same routine insofar as I work out the same days, but
right.
not generally the
you don't
same.
Work the same.
Nah, and I go, Mondays I kind of do something different. I got a buddy of mine that I'll go down to Exton and do some stuff at a different gym. So, we keep it fresh, and that's important, especially for us old guys.
Berks County resident, correct?
Yep, absolutely. Yeah,
and,
sure.
Not non-PA resident. Or native.
Yeah, correct.
Native.
Yeah, originally from Northwest Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
Michigan City, Indiana is really what I consider my hometown.
Nice.
And, 38 miles directly across, the lake from Chicago. And my Bears, hey, look at them, man. I mean, they're finally relevant again.
The Bears did well for me. That's all that matters. I don't care what the record is. They did well. Speaking of another football team that did very, very well for Mr. Epler, this week, your Pitt Panthers, Dan.
Yeah, back at it. When you're Pat Narduzzi, you come before a big Notre Dame game or college game day comes by and you say, we could lose this game 100-10. I don't care as long as we win our next two. You better win the next two when you almost lose 100-10.
You best win the next two, yeah.
And I mean they made it a little scary after they said something that no ACC team in the last 20 years has blown a 28-0 lead, and it got to a one-possession game. But, Pitt, if the thing is that you can never get too excited when you have all these freshmen and sophomore talents because your head starts going to, well, you got to start paying all these guys. But they have a really good freshman quarterback, really good freshman running back. Sean Lee's been playing great for them at cornerback.
Yep.
Kenny Johnson.
Kenny Johnson.
Fantastic.
It's exciting. I mean, I don't get. And I know Penn State had a big win this past week.
They got a win, yeah.
I've seen projections that Pitt is going to play Penn State in the Pinstripe Bowl, and that feels a little like
that's kind of slap in the face to Pitt.
Yeah,
correct?
Yeah, right. Sure.
Pitt's 8-3 this year, and Penn State's fired their coach. And the worst part is Penn State could easily win that football game too, and then it would be a disaster of a draw for Pitt. So. But yeah, I mean they've got a big game. I will not be watching their game on Saturday because we'll be bundled up in Mansion Park. They're playing Miami though. If they beat Miami and either SMU or Virginia loses, they're in the ACC title game. So.
Yeah, I think I saw the latest projections, and they had Penn State playing at Ford Field, playing in Detroit.
Yeah, I could see that too. I mean, the bowl projections are never right either. I don't even know why.
No, they put them out every week, but they're always wrong.
But yeah,
But Detroit would be a nice little roadie.
Yeah,
that'd be all right.
I mean, I've been to Pinstripe Bowl once for a Pitt game, and that was James Connors last year. That was back when I was just graduated college. And,
if I go to a bowl game, I only go to the Bahamas Bowl.
Oh, yeah.
Or indoors.
Well,
yeah. Or the MAC. I've been to the MAC championship game.
Pinstripe Bowl is still the only time I've been to Yankee Stadium. So, I mean, I'm a Red Sox fan, so I don't typically like being in there. So.
Yeah, that doesn't sound right.
It doesn't have. I don't find that new stadium to have much heart or charisma though. Like from when I've been, it doesn't feel the same.
There's no character compared to the old one.
It just isn't. It feels like you're in a wax museum. Or
yes,
like
yes.
That's
you look at some of the other newer stadiums
PNC Park
that have been built in the past 15, 20 years and unveiled. Mm-hmm. They all have something, something about them. Yankee Stadium
just feels like you're in a replica.
You just don't feel it. You don't feel it.
That's why I love Fenway.
Yep, I've been to both. I had more fun at Citi Field, to be honest with you, there. But okay, so we've essentially let's get that out of the way. Let's talk football. That's what we're here for. We've entered, which is essentially last week was the PIAA quarterfinal round. But if you're getting technical, district title games, as most know, most of our listeners will hold us to this. District title games are not considered state tournament games. So McDevitt didn't get a state win by beating Solanco. So we're going to move on with that. So we're going to break down the last the 6A, 5A, and 4A District 3 title games. And we're going to start in 6A and just roll right through these. I think most considered Harrisburg a favorite. I think most thought Harrisburg would win this game against Central York, a very good Central York team, but I don't think most believed that it was going to be a 38-10 final score.
No.
What did you guys think of this one?
Well, I think the takeaway, the Harrisburg offense played well in this game, but the takeaway is that this defense is playing championship level football right
Agreed.
now. And that is, we can talk all we want about Messiah Mickens on offense and Kevin Brown on offense and Elias Cook on offense. But the fact is, those three elite guys all play defense too. And they're all huge parts of that defense. But the best part is they're not the only guys on that. Like, they have other players on that defense that kind of anchor it. And then I don't want to call those guys role players. Messiah is not really a role. Messiah is such a big part of that defense.
Yeah.
And so is Elias. But it's almost like they're just like they're like cherries on top of that defense because you have guys like Rick Brown and Noah Ewell who are full-time defensive players who carry that unit, Isaac John Lewis. And if they're going to have a shot to win this state title, I think that their offense is going to not be challenged, that's not the right word, but the offense is going to be they're going to be going up against other really special units. I think that defense is going to be the one that keeps them in these games against Pittsburgh, Central Catholic, and potentially LaSalle. And if the way they're playing right now, I don't care about Central York's schedule. Holding that Central York offense to 10 points tells you a lot about where that defense is playing right now.
I agree with everything you said. I was trying to think of the other day how to sort of complement, because now we have complimented guys like Ewell, you said, Isaac John Lewis, those kind of guys on the defensive side, Rick Brown, Trace Walker is another guy, and a couple of guys up front. I was trying to say, you now have to, before when we mentioned Harrisburg's defense, it always started with those two or three guys. Kevin Brown, obviously Messiah Mickens being the big two because they're the most notoriety. They have the most notoriety, and so obviously big FBS guys. And Elias Koch obviously plays safety too.
Yeah.
Who's going to Rutgers to play wideout. So, but I was saying, you now have to mention those guys maybe even before. Mm-hmm. The big names, quote unquote, big names, because of what they meant to this, what they mean to this defense. And you have to.
And the fact is, the amount of like snaps and pressure and everything those other guys are on offense, they need those guys to be full bore. Because when you can tell, like you turn on a Harrisburg football game, you could tell when that defense is switched on.
Yep.
They are living in the backfield. They're playing with like a different energy. I remember covering their scrimmages here against the Hun school, and they came out on that first snap of a scrimmage and were hitting hard, were celebrating like crazy after every play. The sideline was going wild. When they call it the dark side, right? And they I've seen on the sidelines they have the dark elixir, and I still want to know what's in there. Maybe one day Cal will tell us what's in there.
It's probably just Kool-Aid or something.
No, I think there's some magic and there's something, because when they are playing with like there's such a feel. You know what I'm talking like there are times when they're not playing with it, and you can tell too. Like there are times when you just run a play action, guys open downfield for 20 yards, but they've been playing with that that I guess dark side energy all postseason long. And
Yeah.
it's really been helping because the offense has struggled sometimes in the postseason.
Agreed. Yeah. Bruce, you've seen them a couple times, Harrisburg. What's your take on, and especially the effort against Central York?
Yeah, I think that those guys on defense, they all know their roles, and they all stick to it and are very disciplined. And the thing that we all have been concerned about Harrisburg is being disciplined on offense.
Right.
They just have had way too many penalties. And don't necessarily play within themselves. They get a little bit out of control on offense because, it's showtime. But as long as that defense sticks to, these roles that they're in and play solid football, I think that they can make up for some of the mistakes that we've seen from Harrisburg on offense in the postseason, especially for the amount of penalties that they get. I mean, wow, sometimes they succeed on offense despite themselves.
Yeah, and obviously that you can get away with that for so long, but against a team like Pittsburgh Central Catholic, which Harrisburg is now going to face, Saturday night, Mansion Park. We called it the Ravens Den years ago because it's where mid-pen teams went to die. That was the stage. It looks like, let's everybody cross their fingers. It looks like the weather's going to be at least not snowing. It's not going to be
bearable.
Right, playable. But it will be 20 plus, 20, a little over 20 degrees or whatever. But I kind of see it playing out the same way. I mean, last year they tangled. It was 38-33 final. And Harrisburg made a furious comeback and damn near came all the way back. And guys like Colson Gatton for Pittsburgh Central Catholic, the Duke recruit, who's tremendous. Off the edge is back. Roman Thompson, I believe, is one of those, is like the picture of what Pennsylvania hard-nosed football whippeal guys are.
Mm-hmm.
He's just a train.
And that offensive line that they've got, it's just a bunch of road breakers.
They're about 290 probably across, 285 across, and they move very, very well. Keel's denoted. So it's a monumental task, but obviously getting there on this kind of wave of momentum for Harrisburg is a really good thing. All right, let's move into 5A, District 3 5A championship game. Bishop McDevitt does it again, 38-20 over Solanco. This game took place Friday night, Warwick High School, where the head coach, Jeff Weachter, began his coaching career as an assistant coach way back yonder. Obviously gets his 300th career win. And another district title, a record 19th for the program, and Weachter has guided McDevitt for 14 of them.
Yeah, I mean, this game didn't start out terrifically. I'm going to briefly bring it back to Pitt because that's the only way I know how to talk football.
Every chance he gets.
Yeah,
Bruce, every chance he gets.
When I covered Pitt in college, that was back when Paul Johnson was at Georgia Tech and they ran that triple option offense. And it was when the first few years when they moved into ACC and started playing Georgia Tech, every game would start out the same. They would have no clue how to defend the triple option. And it's a college program. They're practicing 3-4 hours a day, watching film. And
back then they were, yeah. Now you get them for like 90 minutes.
Watching film on it. You're preparing all week for the triple option. But there's no way to simulate when a team is that dialed in on a triple option offense in practice if you don't run it. And so I wasn't shocked when those first couple drives, McDevitt had no answer for the triple option. They were just moving the ball at ease. They had no idea where the ball was going. They were overcommitting on everything. They had an unsportsmanlike penalty because they thought the quarterback had the ball and whipped him to the ground. He didn't have the ball. It's kind of a questionable call, but it's like you could tell that they hadn't figured it out. Luckily, the passing offense for McDevitt is really clicking into gear. And Sebastian Williams having Jonte Quick back was huge, and they were able to stay in the game with some big plays to Jonte Quick. And then as the quarters kind of winded down, that's when they started kind of getting used to what the Solanco triple option offense was doing. And once that happened, it was over. They just because I kind of think that's the only way you're going to be able to run on this McDevitt defensive front is if you have kind of I don't want to call it gimmicky, but a different type of offense.
Listen, there's no shame in running misdirection and things like that. Particularly this time of year, you've got to offer some mix up because if you're Solanco, you're not offering it through the air.
Yeah, but that's my thing is that I think to beat this McDevitt team, you are going to have to pass the ball.
You have to.
You're not going to be able to do it for four
You're exactly right. Bruce, we streamed the game. Obviously, you were there live on the call. See similar aspects of McDevitt?
Yeah, absolutely. If anything, I thought Sebastian Williams' performance was outstanding. In my mind, he's the most improved quarterback in the state of Pennsylvania. I think that at the beginning of the year, Coach Weachter kind of had the reins on him a little bit, not really knowing exactly what he could do. But the whole playbook was at his disposal Friday night. And he was given a really clean pocket by that offensive line, so he could make some really difficult throws. But I think that, and to Dan's point, I think that having that balance for Bishop McDevitt is going to be key. They're going to have to, statistically, they look like a run-oriented team.
Right.
And probably a lot of that was the fact they've been so far ahead in a lot of these games. They're just running the football.
Well, they are run heavy. That's what they want. But it's difficult because, everybody knows this. You run the ball to set up the pass. But McDevitt, the way Weachter coaches too, though, they run the ball to set up one specific pass. And it's either a deep kind of slant, or maybe they hit you over the middle, or maybe they throw deep. But it's that one play that's just an absolute shocker to a defense. They press up, and then boom, you can find that gap. So it's not necessarily it's Sebastian. Okay, now this is the series where Sebastian's going to throw it 5 or 6 times. They're all pegging for that.
Oh yeah, it's been
play.
set up. I mean, it's a process. Sure.
And again, Sebastian, I agree 100%. Sebastian has really, gotten more comfortable, improved.
Yeah.
It does really help when you have Jonte Quick back.
Sure.
He's such a terrific receiver. And
he is.
And
yes.
I feel like I don't want to say underrated because he's got Division I offers. He's had a 1,000-yard season before, but I think because of his injury, there hasn't been as much talk about him as being one of the better wide receivers in the state. I think he absolutely is.
I think that's the reason why Williams hasn't made as many attempts too. Yeah. I mean, I think it's I think you played a little closer.
Is good. Howard Holton's going to be a terrific receiver.
Ruth made some really good grabs too.
But Gage Ruth is like a big receiver that's more like you need like 15 yards down the field or whatever. Quick is a guy that both can. He's a terrific route runner. He's so precise with his routes and gets open at will, but he makes people miss. He had one of his long touchdowns. He made 3 people miss, kind of made them look silly. He's just like, again, it's not like, I think it's maybe because the injury and maybe just because, last year was kind of number 2 to Dominic Diaz-Ellis.
Right.
But he is a terrific player, and that he changes the dynamic completely for that McDevitt offense.
Absolutely. All right, so congrats to McDevitt, another District 3 title in 5A. They move on now to play the Whippeal champion. Again, that game is Saturday afternoon, 1 o'clock at the Ravens Den, Mansion Park Stadium. Dan and I will be there.
Oh, yeah.
Peters Township came all the way back.
Down 19-0 at halftime to Pine Richland.
Exactly.
Everybody thought that game was over, and then that turned out to be the say-what game in Pennsylvania for me. Say what? They came back to win that game? But
exactly.
Just an incredible effort by Peters there, shutting down Pine Richland.
Yeah, that threw a wrench in the rankings, that's for sure.
Sure did.
I honestly, Pine Richland was my preseason number 1, and I thought these guys are going to win a state title. They're going all the way. They're going to get to see them at Chapman Field live, and then they're up 19-0. I'm like, there they go again, and boom, Peters Township, great effort to come all the way back and win that game 20-19. So now Peters Township takes on McDevitt in what should be an interesting game. Should be a very interesting game.
Yeah.
All right, let's move to District 3 4A Championship. This was my game at Posh Elko High School, which I had not been for a long time. No, I'm being serious. I had not been to Elko in a long time. Of course, Tommy Mealy's the athletic director there. They took care of you. The hospitality there was tremendous. Everybody was wonderful. There was a huge giant spear that was right behind my seat. I don't know what that was for, but that was fun. And this was a 21-20 Susquehanna Township lead at halftime, and handed did just about everything right except stop Drew Engel in the second half. And it wasn't just Drew Engel, too. I mean, Lucas Myers played a monster role in this, probably more effectively defensively. He was tremendous on defense. But those two guys in front of that offensive line, and obviously I really like quarterback Maverick Foster, too. He just commands it. It's not as simple as just handing off to these two guys. You've got to read things a little bit. And I thought he played really, really well. The defense was good. Drew Engel had 283 rushing yards in a district final.
Pretty incredible.
Yeah, and 3 touchdowns. I mean, you just don't see that.
Where's the publicity for that guy? You know, I mean,
you know why? Because he's not 3 inches taller.
Right.
That's why.
Correct.
That's exactly why. But this is the type of kid to, like, if he wound up at a Lafayette or Lehigh, would set records. Because he's just a football player. I don't care how big he is. He is fast. Don't get me wrong. But I don't care how fast he is. This kid's just an absolute football player. And he makes himself so small to find that gap. And then next thing you know, if you blinked, he's 6 yards downfield and threatening to cut and take it the rest of the way. It's just a tremendous, tremendous second half from Twin Valley. They win 41-21 and keep their state title hopes alive. First district title for Twin Valley. As you know, Bruce, being a Berks County guy, Twin Valley doesn't have a lot of lines in the history books of District 3 football.
They really don't. And so many years, they were just bounced around between Section 1 and Section 2 of the Berks League.
Yeah.
Really difficult for them to kind of form a tradition. You know, it was one of the things with Twin Valley football before Coach Myers got there that they had a difficult time with. I mean, there was a point where they weren't even sending their band to road games. I mean,
right.
So, you know, but now, obviously, with Coach Myers there, I mean, a guy who's taken a team to state championships, you know, at Middletown there, despite the fact that they've not been here before as a team, I think as an organization, the experience of Coach Myers at the helm might be the single biggest thing in their advantage if it were not they were playing Aliquippa.
Right. How ironic. They are playing Aliquippa, right? In 2016, which was the third of 3 straight state final appearances by Middletown, then coached by Brett Myers, they were beaten by Aliquippa 35-0 in that championship.
Yeah, I don't think Coach Warfield was the coach for Aliquippa at that point.
But I'm pretty sure Brett Myers remembers that game.
I'm sure he does.
Yeah. So now, obviously, coaching a different outfit, but gets another crack at Aliquippa. Warfield is back after a year hiatus and has Aliquippa, which nobody pegged to win a WPIAL title. But here they are in the state semifinals. So, not to be taken lightly, for sure. So that game will happen Friday night. Aliquippa versus Twin Valley in the state semifinal in Class 4A.
And where's that? At Mifflin County, right?
It's going to be in Lewistown at Mifflin County's new football stadium.
Yeah. Wow.
The old one was fabulous, by the way.
I forgot to mention about Warwick, too. Their new stadium is beautiful. I love their new facility. It's terrific.
Warwick has a great old character, the high school, but they have tremendous facilities. Their baseball field is awesome. Their football stadium is awesome. It's really, really cool.
Yeah, and their administration, really backs. I mean, an administration really needs to, step up, and they want to. They search out those types of games to showcase their facilities, and you love that about schools.
Yeah, and that's what Mifflin County's going to doing. I mean, they're proud of their new place, and although I loved Mitchell Field, sometimes you were parking in mud patches and this and that, but they did just let you literally you parked right behind the field, like in the grass area. So like a bad punt would hit your car.
Wow.
That's how close you would be. And it had, we talk about character.
Sure.
It had tremendous character.
Wow.
And great people up there.
Good.
They love football. They're tremendous up there. But now they got a new digs, and they're very proud of that. So good for them. All right, 3 schools, 3 mid-pen squads were still in action too. They were in actual state quarterfinals. Didn't get through. Let's talk about Trinity. I'm sorry, Trinity did get through. with an unbelievable comeback against New Margrethe. 26-22, they win that game, and now they're heading to a state semifinal. Who saw this one coming?
I don't know. I mean, okay.
Listen, they needed a miracle.
Hey, they led for 6 seconds, okay? And
right.
The last
that's all
6
you need.
seconds.
That's all you need, right?
Seconds.
Yep, that's all you need.
But just tremendous. We did the 3A championship game. We were able to broadcast that.
Berks Catholic.
With Berks Catholic. And, you could really see it in that team, the confidence that they had going in. And, it has been lightning in a bottle for the Shamrocks. They've played extremely good football. And, boy, I tell you what, everybody's really excited down there in Camp Hill for them, I can tell you that.
Yeah, I mean, hats off to Kevin Yarnovich.
Yeah.
Dan and I have talked about Kevin a lot throughout the year. Just not the easiest situation to step into, but obviously off the jump, you could tell the players respect him. They seem like they're having fun.
Never any excuses from Kevin.
No.
Never an excuse.
That early game, I think, with Allentown Central Catholic was such a pivotal. Now, even though that was a Jordan Hill sort of relationship to kind of get that, to kind of see where they're at, I think that for game in week 1 really benefited this Trinity team to say, listen, okay, this is one of the better teams in 3A, or 4A. This is what we need to do. And they've just made small incremental advantages every week, and obviously they've got some tremendous players. But even the quote unquote role guys have done really good. And to hold New Margrethe 22, pretty darn good, and then to come back like they did with touchdown, onside kick, touchdown, just unbelievable.
Shock. I mean,
yeah. I mean, it's. Listen, this week is going to be difficult for them. I mean, there's no way to slice it. Northwestern Lehigh, we know what they can do. We know what they have back. It's going to be a very tall task. But you know what? If anybody could climb that hurdle, I'd probably say it was Trinity.
Well, and I think, and one of the things, too, they're playing at the same stadium. They're playing at Exeter again. So
yeah.
It's not going to be foreign to them. It's going to be an instant replay of last week, okay? They're going to go in the same locker room. It's the same bus ride. I think that could be something that they could use to their advantage, in that is a comfort factor playing on that same field, because all positive thoughts from the previous week.
Absolutely. All right, Steel High was still involved. They had PIAA quarterfinal. They ran into Jim Roth and those Southern Columbia Tigers, who have really righted the ship. 55-26 was the final in this one. I think most thought Southern would win this game. Again, it's a 30-point game, maybe not so much, because all the good things that Steel High had done. But, sometimes you just, you run into the black bear. You run into the big bear, and there's nothing you can do.
And, Southern Columbia is one that, they only had one loss on the year, and they had a great season, but not talked about like other Southern Columbia teams when they were on that long streak of state championships. And obviously last year, they were beaten in the state tournament. So this year, coming back and, getting back to the level that everybody thought that they could be, below the radar, I guess. That's hard to imagine that they really haven't been talked about more.
That's a good way to put it, because they are like, and again, they're not devoid of talent, but I'm saying it's just less sort of FBS guys. You always hear of a couple FBS guys, or maybe guys who are going to a strong D2 program. You don't hear that. You didn't hear that about this group. It's a tight-knit group. They play discipline. Obviously, Jim Roth at the helm. He's got some experience, to say the least. Just a tad. I don't know. What's he at now? 460 some wins?
Yeah.
No, it might be more than that. I don't even know.
Well, no, didn't he win the 400th in like the state championship game? Or I don't know.
He might be over 500.
Okay.
I don't know. He's just got a boatload.
It's a lot.
It's a boatload. Anyway, but they've been in this situation too. So once you get that feeling when you're on a roll, you keep going, things
Yeah.
like that. It just nothing can sort of sideline it, right?
Yeah, it just seems like they have reached that point that the Southern Columbia teams that win state titles tend to be in, right? Where they just kind of roll through the postseason and no one challenged them. At least they've had some challenges in the state title game.
They have, yes.
Westinghouse has given them some really good games, but when they are like get at this point of the playoffs and they're playing like this, it tends to end with state championships going back there. So we'll see.
Yeah.
They've looked, and this isn't the Steel High team that won 3 out of the last 4 state titles, but this is a darn good Steel High football team, and to do that to them, no one beats that team. No one puts 55 on that team easily. So I think it says a lot because you have to remember, like, again, it's not those champion teams. They've got two to 3 Division I linebackers in 2A. That's something you don't come across often. And obviously, you need more than 2 players on defense. I think they do have more than 2 players on defense.
Yeah, they do. Yep.
I just think it's a Southern Columbia team that's really tough to match up with. They have so many weapons on that team.
They do. All right, last but certainly not least, another successful, really good season for State College, but they run into a buzzsaw too in Pittsburgh Central Catholic, 42-21, in this battle between the District 6 champ and the Whitfield champ. Right back at Mansion Park, of course. Good Lord, lots of thank heavens for Mansion Park.
Yeah,
Fewer and fewer teams are now willing to open up their venues at this time of the year, and Phil Riccio, who is always just hanging around, say, "Yep, come here, come here, come here." I'm surprised they don't have a game Friday night. There has to be something going on, that they wouldn't have a game on Friday night, unless they just said, "Listen," the PIAA said, "Listen, we want to have both of these games on Saturday."
I think it has something to do with the fact that they had the opportunity because playing the game because of Thanksgiving. I thought it was nice that they, rather than these teams are traveling a long distance
Friday,
and basically allows the teams really to have kind of a token practice on Thursday, and then a meaningful walkthrough then on Friday.
Right.
Most of these teams are then going to depart after practice and go up and stay then in Mansion Park. I think it's a great move by the PIAA for these. I'm surprised. I'll be honest with you. The one I was surprised about was the fact that they made Aliquippa and Twin Valley play on a Friday night because they had an opportunity that they could have played on a Saturday there too, maybe for the facility, but I think it's a great move that they're playing on Saturday there.
I thought it would either that or it was maybe the weather was looking eerie sort of Friday in Altoona. I don't know. I haven't looked at the weather yet or what the weather predictions are, but I thought maybe that was a factor. Maybe there's some cold or snow coming in. They figured, hey, let's just wait. Because Saturday does not look that bad. It
now
just
none of the
cold.
teams have to travel on Thanksgiving to get to a game.
That's probably what it is.
Which is great.
That's probably what it is. All right, more news before we get out of here. Check out Dan's reporting earlier or late last week on Kevin Brown's commitment. We mentioned Brown, the offensive line.
Yeah, and Megan and I
tackle.
We did not catch on fire there.
Right.
I've had so many people come up to me asking me questions about that couch burning.
I mean, it's very appropriate how they did it. I would not have thought to do it that way.
We're going to
but
bring couch burning back to West Virginia. So.
But I don't like Kevin having near fire. It's something about that.
I mean, if he has fire, I would not. I mean, I wouldn't mess with Kevin Brown anyway. But especially if he has access to fire, I think that's a little unfair.
Yeah, I agree. It was supervised, though, right? Somewhat.
Yeah, I mean, it was supervised.
There was a lot of juice on it, though, right?
A
lot of that was the thing. Stuff. Lighter fluid, starter fluid.
If anyone knows about couch burning, it's his dad who was at West Virginia when they were winning football games.
With Rich Rod.
Yeah, that's when they were winning, so he saw a lot of it.
Yeah.
And, I mean, that was cool. I thought it was really cool. Basically, Tim kind of told me, he was like, when Rich Rod went back to West Virginia this past year, he said a part of him deep down was like, man, he didn't say he didn't wish Kevin wasn't committed to Penn State, but he said his heart sunk because he kind of realized that he had been training Kevin Brown to be the type of offensive lineman Rich Rodriguez likes.
That you could slot right in,
And so he said when the Penn State stuff happened, he started looking around, and West Virginia immediately kind of sniffed that out. I was like, I think we know we'll be able to land this guy, and it's going to be so cool to see him put on a West Virginia uniform for the first time like his dad. I mean, that stuff you don't see as much in the NIL era if your dad didn't play at a blue blood program and you're a player like Kevin, right?
Yeah,
because usually you hear, oh, his dad played at, like, I don't know, like Kansas or something. But if they're a 5-star recruit, they're probably going to go to Alabama or Ohio State. And I mean, West Virginia's got a lot of NIL money, but for Kevin could get NIL money, I imagine, wherever he wanted.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
And for him to kind of choose, hey, this is where my dad played, this is who my dad played for, I'm going to trust them. I think Kevin could play at Eastern Michigan. He'd be an NFL player in a couple of years, probably. So,
absolutely.
Yeah, so it doesn't really matter for a guy like him, but
no.
It'll be cool to see for sure.
I think, too, noticing on their social media, we get recommended their social media a lot because we cover Kevin Brown. They are extremely excited about him in a way that I don't think another school would have been excited about Kevin.
Well, that's what happens when you're not one of those blue bloods. Those blue bloods treat every 4-star like a right of or like that it's their God-given right to get every 4 and 5-star. When you're at a program like West Virginia, you get a guy like Kevin Brown. It's almost like 2 wins on a football game.
Yeah.
Well, it does give them some excitement in the off season.
You would think the Penn State people were excited about him, but I know what you're saying.
I'm talking Ohio State and Alabama.
Oh, well, those guys,
Penn State's a little different. Penn State gets excited when they get a first down.
But then again, like places like, Georgia probably has 4 5-star running backs coming in.
That's what I'm saying.
Ohio State, wide receivers, I don't know, 6 to 8.
Yeah,
I don't know. But yes, I know what you're saying.
It's basically like signing a reliever in baseball for them.
That's a good way to put it. Absolutely. Yeah. Also, final congratulations. Well, we'll congratulate more than just final, but to Jeff Weachter on win number 300. That's a hell of a feat. I think we've only had 21 PA coaches reach 300, and as we said, Jim Roth is probably, I don't know, he's in his own category.
Jeff said he's 22, so I believe it could be
22. Okay, I wrote it. I can't remember.
I think
there
might have been 21 before him, and then
then I did.
22.
Okay, I had it right. Don't. Yeah, I had it right.
No, you said it right.
Yeah. Also, recent news too, and I'll have more about this. Colin Gillen, celebrated coach at Cedar Cliff, has tendered his resignation. I don't think it's the last we'll see of Coach Gillen, but he's going to move on from the Colts program, and I'm supposed to talk to him in a little while. So we'll get his thoughts on that. But obviously we're gonna miss him in the interim. In the meantime, because we think the world about him.
And, one of the best coaches.
He's an excellent all around coach. No matter how you slice it down, X's and O's, player coach, whatever. He's all of those things wrapped into one. So we wish him the best in his search for the next stop. Okay, that will do it for this edition of the PA High School Football Report. You have 2 more weekends, people, to get out and watch football. So bundle up, get out there. Everybody, please enjoy Thanksgiving. I have to do mine tomorrow, Wednesday.
My mom actually texted me.
Well, the whole half the family has to go to Richmond for it's either a field hockey festival or a gymnastics meet. I think it's gymnastics.
On Thanksgiving?
No. Yeah. Well, the games start Friday, but they have to go down Thursday to be there Thursday night for like a run through
that's not
of what's going to happen over the next 3 days. So, it's a whole big thing. Yeah. It's a whole big thing.
My mom actually texted us because you say you deep fry your turkey. She texted my family, if your dad asks, do you want deep fried turkey, say no, or I'm not cooking Thanksgiving dinner. So she doesn't want to deal with all that.
Listen, if your dad wants deep fried turkey, damn it, deep fry the turkey.
My mom is a she likes her turkey a certain way, and she says,
tell her she can pop one in the oven and you can have that.
But my dad doesn't want to make
it.
He wants her to make it, and she doesn't want to do it.
You make it. Fry the thing.
I'm not.
It's dangerous, man.
Do you really trust me with hot oil?
No, I don't trust you with an ink pen. Let alone hot oil. No, of course not.
Yeah, so I don't think I should be doing that.
Dan deep fries a turkey. Next week, the part of Dan will be played by
Listen,
Bruce.
I've done. Right. I've deep fried turkeys, hams, anything I can find. I've thrown a big vat of grease. I don't set anything on fire. It's all good. I've ruined some grass. Yes, but I haven't set at least myself on fire yet.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah,
It
it'll be all
probably
right.
tastes great. Bring me in a piece, and
It's fantastic.
Bring me in a piece.
All right, I will.
Doesn't Arby's have
will.
deep fried turkey? I don't know. You just go to Arby's.
I don't know, dude. Well, when the last time you went to Arby's?
Oh God,
They've
got the meats, man.
They still have Arby's?
Arby's. About 10 years ago, before we end this podcast, I
don't know.
I got to stick up for Arby's. About 10 years ago, they had an entire brand revival. Brought in Ving Rhames to do all their ads, and ever since then, they've been. I love them. They're an elite.
Well, it has to be great if you bring in Ving Rhames.
Yeah,
Ving Rhames.
the deep fried turkey, man.
This
at
is
Arby's.
devolved. I think we should go to Thanksgiving. I think we're all hungry for some tryptophan.
Listen, if you all want to come down, I'll fry your turkey. I don't have any problem with that.
All right, man.
All right, for Bruce Badgley, Dan Sosik, I'm Eric Kepler. Thanks for joining us. Come back next week.